I'm still drinking the same coffee I've had for 15 years, and the price hasn't really changed, says Mark Henderson, a retired railway worker and regular at his neighborhood cafe. But I hear from friends across the border that it's not as comfortable anymore. This kind of price stability, while rarely headlined in national media, plays a vital role in maintaining consumer loyalty, especially among older Canadians who stick with familiar flavors for decades.
Olá, amigos do canal Bom Dia Geoeconomia. Este é o terceiro de uma série de 3 vídeos sobre como o mercado do café está sendo afetado nos Estados Unidos, depois das tarifas impostas ao Brasil pelo presidente americano. A bebida favorita deles está seriamente ameaçada por conta destas medidas, e os impactos já estão sendo sentidos. Será que é possível reverter esta situação? Segue nosso canal para não perder nenhum capítulo da série. E já deixa seu like se você ficou curioso para saber o que os americanos estão pensando a respeito deste assunto.
Canada's decision to avoid imposing retaliatory tariffs or intervening in the natural flow of trade has helped insulate its consumers from the sharp price hikes hitting United States shoppers. Domestic brands like Tim Hortons, Kicking Horse Coffee, and Ethical Bean have been able to hold prices steady, ensure reliable supply chains, and in some cases expand their market share, while American competitors grapple with disruptions. We've seen more American online orders since July, notes Maria Leduc, operations manager at a Quebec-based roastery. People are looking for stable prices, and right now we can offer that. In Canada, that morning cup still tastes the same. A small reassurance in a world where even simple comforts are becoming rare. In Ottawa, silence became a weapon, and it was hitting Washington harder than any tariff. Behind closed doors, United States trade officials warn that Canada's quiet moves were erasing America's leverage, one shipment at a time. And that's when Washington realized this fight wasn't just about coffee anymore. While no official announcements have confirmed new Brazil-Canada trade agreements, industry analysts believe billion-dollar contracts are likely on the horizon. For Brazilian exporters, Canada offers 3 clear advantages: no tariffs, no political pressure, and a stable consumer market with high purchasing power. The Coffee Association of Canada reports that the domestic industry is worth nearly 8 billion Canadian dollars annually, making coffee the nation's second most consumed beverage after water, ahead of beer, soft drinks, and tea. Nearly 72% of Canadian adults drink coffee daily, placing the country among the highest per capita consumers in the world. With this scale, Canada has moved beyond being simply a coffee consumer. It is now a potential pivot point in the global coffee trade. At a moment when the United States market is more volatile than at any time in recent memory, Canada's quiet steadiness is emerging as a strategic advantage. In a storm that is rattling coffee trade routes worldwide, Canada's calm, measured approach is proving to be its greatest asset. Sometimes in trade, doing nothing is the smartest move, says Jonathan McBride, a senior trade policy advisor in Ottawa. By not stirring the waters, Canada is becoming a safe harbor for suppliers. For American consumers, the contrast is striking. Many are paying more while getting less, and the question is whether they will accept it. If the United States extends similar tariffs to other coffee-producing nations, such as Vietnam, Colombia, Ethiopia, and Indonesia, as multiple international trade sources hinted in late July, the stakes will rise sharply. In capitals from Hanoi to Bogotá, trade ministers were already gaming out their own countermoves, preparing to turn Washington's strategy back on itself. But as the trade winds shift, no one can guarantee what tomorrow's morning cup will taste like, or how much it will cost. What started with Brazil might just be the first domino to fall. These countries don't just fill United States warehouses. They define the flavor map Americans have known for generations. From the smooth balance of Colombian Arabica to the bold punch of Vietnamese Robusta and the floral, herbaceous notes of Ethiopian beans, each origin represents a unique cultural connection now at risk. Not because consumer tastes have shifted, but because of policy choices made thousands of miles away. According to the ICO, Brazil accounts for roughly 37% of the world's coffee supply, Vietnam for 17%, Colombia for 8%, and Ethiopia for 6%. Together, the nations now in the potential crosshairs of United States tariffs represent nearly 70% of global production. Futures prices have already reacted. New York Arabica has climbed nearly 35% since June, from $1.75 per pound to $2.40 in early August, while London Robusta has surged 56%, from $1.25 to $1.95 per pound. Such moves don't just raise costs, they upend the structure of the entire market, affecting everyone from farmers and traders to logistics firms and multinational brands. For decades, the United States has been the gravitational center of the coffee world, not just in terms of consumption, but also in setting quality standards, shaping trade relationships, and driving global coffee culture. Brands like Starbucks, Peet's Coffee, and Green Mountain built reputations as bridges between the farms of the global South and the cafes of the global North. But now, with Washington shifting from a market pathfinder to a gatekeeper, many suppliers are rethinking where they send their beans. More exporters are looking to Canada, Europe, and parts of Asia for long-term stability. These markets pose fewer political risks, experience fewer sudden policy reversals, and offer more predictable returns. For the first time in decades, the United States wasn't dictating the rules, it was scrambling to keep up with them. And the more they look away from the United States, the harder it will be to bring them back. Trust is currency in global trade, says Rafael Oliveira, a Brazilian export consultant. If you can't guarantee it, someone else will take your place. This isn't just about shifting containers on shipping routes. It's about shifting influence. If suppliers choose to bypass the United States to avoid policy whiplash, the country's ability to shape the coffee industry could erode, even if American consumers still drink as much as ever. And that leads to a deeper question. Where does control really lie? When a tariff can change the taste of your morning coffee, when consumers lose the blends they've relied on for years without a say in the matter, what power is left beyond paying more for something that once felt intimate? As Brazil steps back, Canada steps forward, and consumers on both sides of the border quietly adapt. The story of the coffee trade is no longer just about economics. It's about the uneasy realization that small changes in policy can unleash waves of change no one is truly prepared for. In the end, this trade battle is no longer just about numbers on a balance sheet. It's about power, sovereignty, and the future of entire nations. Canada is proving that it's not simply a junior partner in North America, but a resource giant capable of rewriting the rules when pushed too far. The United States may still hold the world's largest economy, but in this standoff, it's discovering just how much it depends on its northern neighbor for energy, minerals, and strategic leverage. Every tariff, every countermeasure, every deal struck outside Washington's reach is part of a bigger story, one where alliances shift and the old order is no longer guaranteed. The next move could redraw the economic map for decades. Bankruptcy, yeah, your morning coffee still tastes the same, or maybe something about it feels just a little off. The real question is, are you still the one making that choice, or has it already been decided for you by forces thousands of miles away? Have you managed to hold on to your favorite blend, or have you had to switch simply because there was no other option?
Obrigado por assistir até aqui. Se você gostou deste vídeo, deixe seu like, se inscreva no nosso canal e deixe um comentário sobre o que você pensa sobre este assunto.